You're dragged to bewilderment. Frown furiously, yelling loudly, trying to chastise CA. What are you doing? Let me go. I face your explosion. Just calmly replied. Min is not here now. You're not ready to say it all. She definitely pushed him back and forth. If you have looked out, then we don't have to pretend. Using hateful eyes and a strong voice. No love to respond. Not in my previous form. It's because of you that you deliberately pretend. But we find out instead of making it hard for us. Waste your energy to master the character of the action. A man with a heart of stone. A little less energy makes you stronger. She looked straight ahead. Use the words you used to say to make fun of you, even if it is your own power. That's fundamental to the outside world, not SAO. In your heart, secretly gloating. This is what you said to the school. CA saw that look smiling and thought it was wrong. I've learned how to improvise. He was as quiet as not questioning her. How do you know I won't be touched by others? Unexpected, in the heart, you are like that. And then slowly move closer to my words. But Min, you haven't hidden me so deep in so many years. That really hurt me. You are careful to step back loudly and answer CA. Don't deceive me with those words. How good you are, you don't know why. With a very happy face, he asked. What dignity do we have? When you hear that, you scream in a panic. You didn't even stop. I won't be gracious anymore. This word makes you more water. How is the air? You're not being teased crazy. Angry people wave their hands forward with the intention of attacking. I yelled at the damned. But that blow was easily stopped by CA. Gently catching hand, and pressed directly on the back wall. I close the front to face you. Press your whole body against the wall, smile full of cunning. You are so upset, what do you want to do? With pleasure you answer. The night was long, she said, lady. When you hear that, you can only open your eyes in wonder. The door slammed shut. Under the bright yellow light, there are only shadows. CA and Nuyet Min are not behind. You two are so close. You use strong force forward. But he dodged and caught her hand. Then turn around and take your beautiful body. Immediately, CA school ended Min, not up gently. You both go deep into the room. The shadow is getting smaller. Finally, the lights went out. It leaves a dark shadow. And two people are tangled together. Fast forward to the next morning. When the morning rays are golden, illuminating on the eaves of the palace, the magnificent Kung Jueng. CA school woke up after a rough night. His yawning short, yawning long. He glanced to the side. The place is empty. No one is sleeping peacefully anymore. He closed his eyes softly. The aesthetic just leaves. I didn't expect the blanket to go away. You really lied to me. And then you put your hand on your chin and you're speculating. But you have to say it again. The moon is not for the betrayal and hatred of a past life. I can also take the initiative to give up. That's a reasonable trick if we don't intervene. Let her be. Real revenge. I don't know how much it will eventually grow. I smiled softly and was satisfied. Interesting role like this. If there's no resentment of her past life. I want to use a normal heart to treat her. And the system panel now shows a notification. Nuyet Min's Kai Kai is not close to the center of oscillation. Air value increased by 500 points. The value of heaven increased 2,500 points. C series of parameters rise high. I seriously crossed my arms. Passionate talk to yourself. Looks like it's what I thought. Surely the moon is not now. They are doubting me right now. Why is it different from a previous life? It even feels. Is my transformation due to her influence? Germ. And then he puts his foot down and he analyzes it. Women, whether they are rational or emotional, most people believe in their sixth sense. The shadow of the bare back appeared, moving towards the door again. I just need to make her find a trace. Of course, she's going to figure out a lot of things. You spread your hands. A thin magic source appeared surrounding the body. At the same time, you ray beautiful. This kind of deductive habit. Of course, the moon is no exception. Immediately, your clothes were made up. Courteous demeanor. The door cracked open. I walked out softly. The thought comes back to mind. Minor annoyance temporarily resolved. It's about going back to heaven. It should also be on the schedule. Now in the blue sky, full of floating white clouds. A giant bird. The mythical beauty that's just fluttering. Just pulled a cart. You don't sit seriously inside. Ask the woman next to you. What kind of person do you think the school owner is? I just heard the happy expression on my face. Although outside says, personality lacking, cold CA school owner, hard to close. But the Ni Emperor saw the lack of peaceful owners. Welcoming, very well-intentioned people. You treat the letter as if it were a very gentle person. You frown. It's a very difficult feeling to get an answer. Smiling silently, how about a trip to this place? Arise too many things that I couldn't even plan for myself. I don't know why. In front of him, it's like we don't have any comfort. Tae Min did not hold the silk dress tightly, soft angry that thought the school CA. Even though I have been into lives, but I still can't see through you. Her eyes became sharp. The scowl face is extremely unsightly. I still wear my white clothes no matter what. I will not leave it alone. The wound you caused me, I will gradually give you back. Move the scene to the land of fairies. It's covered in mountains. There's a huge tree with thousands of pink peaches. Standing on the fertile land, there are two sources of magic. One red and one green chasing each other, flying as fast as sand. They fly through the thick forest. The red light hits a space gap. Open in the middle of nothing, and disappear in a moment, leaving the blue light flashing by. It turns out that red light is the occupation. She's struggling to fly away. His mouth is still covered in blood, frowned silently, questioning. Why do you know this place? I can't believe such a magical village exists. There's also a peach tree. It's not that it disappeared centuries ago. Why did she frown? Think again. This situation must be reported to the public in time. That's right. Beneath an empty land. Next to them are dilapidated houses with 4 mystics. They got close enough to let her escape. I can't believe she has a charm on her. Monk great saint seen, but there is no breath of God. Maybe it's not about the fairies. So who is this? One person replied, look at the years of silence of the peach tree. It's finally broken. Then the scenery moves to the sky. Innumerable heavenly spheres. It's so open. In the sky, there are also countless large ships flying by magic. Far away, I saw the mountains hidden in the fog. The central location is a giant tower, with a great blue glow. Below is very boisterous place of trading business. Many houses grew up, people who take turns handing out their goods. The ancient fairy tale. Switch back, low price for people with good fortune. Over the first 80,000 years, depending on the price. First, I walk in the middle of people. I looked around and exclaimed, So many precious things. I've never seen it either. No one would dare to sell at a fake price. But a little. You should still look at the stone on your body. You frown and pout your lips angrily, the more you think. If it wasn't for the late CA. Why are we so broken? I can't buy anything on the side of the road. The guy next to me just looks at you. At that moment, a man appeared. To praise the god of divinity. Ceremony of heavenly substance. That's a rare world girl. He has a tall body, blonde hair, arrogant demeanor. Besides, there are two subordinates. Put your hands together and speak loudly. Kim Yu doesn't know how to address her. Just now, I saw that she was interested in some things. Just in time to lower, but I didn't let him finish. You came across accidentally. Don't mind wasting your time, I don't like it. There is nothing to keep hunting for. Not a thief is a thief. These are the three teachers who taught me. The thick-faced Kim does not want to miss the beauty. He stopped the path of the prophet. Ask the little girl. Do you know who I am? You let his hand out. The two men behind him were angry. But you don't mind moving on. I want to know who you are. Don't stop me. He looked at the shadow of her back and frowned with rage and guts. Invited wine not to drink. Drinking alcohol again. The child is uncomfortable to hear. Turn around and ask what you want. He answered me by himself. His words were echoed in the sky. A giant dragon. Hung dung blue body flying down below. CA School stands proudly on the head of that sacred beast. When they see you, they shout. The young man is back. Disciple foot transmission of celestial. Lack of school owner. School reinforcement CA. He stood on the high, looking down, laughing, full of aesthetic implications. I have just reported the situation on the island. Just meet at the right time. Just as I predicted. Behind you hides a god. But now, looks like you've had a little trouble. I saw you holding my chest tight. Looking straight at you with hateful eyes. Frowned furiously, calling the school CA. Kim Yu saw that scene. It's hard to complain, it's boring. Then turn your back to the fairy. Straight hand, it's not up to you to order people. 8 fucking heads for me. 2 subordinates obeyed and rushed towards her. I just saw a lightning coming down. Make a circle of lightning. To protect her and beat up 2 of her followers later. When he saw that, he turned his head and shouted at you. You don't let him speak in your eyes. Long time no see. You seem to live quite well too. Kim Yu looked surprised when he heard it. An hour full of doubt. Then calm down and be friendly. Put your hands forward and speak. I haven't tried you for a long time. The school walked right past him. The one you notice is Elf, not him. Coming close to you. He snapped a loud radio and fell back and screamed. In front of your watchful gaze. He smiled and said, in DTO is now this tall. And it's so beautiful. 2 hands still give out the meaninglessness of Kim Warren, trembling with green veins. He lost his face, frowning, an angry expression roared. CA, what do you mean? I just gently swung my hand. He fell to the ground. Red face, purple eyes rolling up in pain. The 2 men panicked in a hurry. To help the owner lack the owner. Then he directed the second contempt. Taunting steel words. You are what I talk to my brother. It is your turn to put your mouth in. The crowd was silent. I looked up at the scene that just happened. One of the men asked. I didn't even try to talk about it. I was reminded to spray by the person next to me. The story of the late Ra. It's something we can guess about later. The fairy has been silent. At this point, he shouted out loud and shut up, trying to chastise CA. She looked straight at him with sword eyes. Straight words. If you have this one in your heart, why did it happen like that year? The guy comes up with a few words of blame. Just focus on the 9,000 at the top. She laughed with pleasure. British oral cosmetic. The value of air transportation is nearly 10,000. The moon is not much higher than the moon. His eyes looked down at the fairy. Keep that smile in return. It's not easy to meet. I can't believe you have such an attitude. That's really hurting this boss. When she heard that, she frowned furiously. I have no respect if you came here just to know. Your movements, everything is in your control. I don't think it's necessary. You and I are temporarily separated. I have no intention of striking you. Over here, CA's school just glanced at her, smiling, not talking. Then casually close your eyes. Deliberate words to provoke the enemy. Good people also know how to measure themselves. She bit the hook and screamed. Then Kim Vu got up. He fired a loud fire and insulted the CA school. Good or bad, you and I are the same. Don't be too much. His face after the last attack. Red swelling on one side, the tooth also lost a shrinking pupil. My eyes are covered in red blood, screaming at me like this. To my family, you don't put it in your eyes. I looked at him and said, you deserve it. Then put your hand directly in front of the head. A harsh threat to my sister. Only we are raped. If you dare to touch it, take death as an apology. He's scared, he stuttered. He tried to chastise you. Let him not remain arrogant. I just snapped a powerful shot to bite off half of his body. No pressure from the last move. It turns itself into a weak energy source. Two men shouted at the owner. Both were immediately captured by the giant dragon. The challengers cry out in pain. At this time, one gold coin suddenly crumbled. Two men were crushed to death. And the form of Kim Vu, it gradually accumulates into a golden glow. And hurried away. I don't dare to stay any longer. First of all, I saw the cruel scene. Eyes open in amazement. The dragon god speaks. It doesn't matter how he runs. I just saw you laughing. I think he still works. If we really want to kill him, we don't have to care. Sooner or later, he's turning into a lightning bolt in the sky. The people below see it. Immediately ironic, he is also a true disciple of Tian. Not expected. Kim Vu was pointed out by the CA school to break his body. He used magic to catch the original god and ran away. If the breath wasn't wrong. Is afraid that try to transmit the breakthrough to the landscape. People passing by talk. Everyone whose faces were terrified and filled with wonder. How old is he? If I remember correctly, then this whole world. Never heard of it either. Has any young man ever reached the landscape? No wrong foot transmission attempt. There is only one young man in front of me. Reach the landscape. Apart from those who are surprised, there are also admirers. Likes to try legs transmitted handsome to evil. I like it so much. The fairy is the one behind. The surrounding is still buzzing endlessly. You forgot, Kim Vu has a very strong CA. I heard that the whole nation has been closed recently. They always protect each other. If he comes out and finds out about this. The genie suddenly shouted. Don't you think that I will thank you? Do you close your eyes? I don't need you to thank me. We just need to let others know. And then he grinned gracefully. My sister, I can only bully others. Absolutely not. Now you're completely pissed off and screaming furiously. Try to stop pretending. What's your plan after all? I just bend down softly, hand rubbing her small face. Soften the voice. Maybe in my heart, I want to make up for something. But the image is broken in no more than 3 seconds. He laughed out loud. The expression was worth hitting. Of course, it's also possible. I just want to see you hate me. There's nothing I can do. She closed her eyes and threatened. Sooner or later, there is a day. I will pay back all the pain you have caused me. The CA school is obviously watching it as entertainment. Use the first hand to press on the teaching voice. Okay, then you have to try harder to practice. Surprise on high appeared raw berets. Blue 6 yellow red in turn. The people below realized it and shouted. Is the Tiangshong's law enforcement team. Until the 3 rays landed. Land figure rob a human to male 1 female. The man in the middle laughed. Mirror voicing trying to foot the rules of the sperm. You also know about today. I hope you don't make it difficult for us. I calmly replied. No, I should also go and visit the elders. And walked away with the law enforcement team. The child behind the question. This guy is here today because you want to tease me. Then quietly think, if you're guilty of this, it's true. The price is too high. She frowned, her eyes intently questioning herself. Although the actions of the late CA seem odd, compared to before, but it's the same with cruel cynicism. They just killed him. His eyes didn't flutter for one. It's as simple as trampling ants. And then you walk away, step by step. After this, she said to herself. Either way, practice in the Tiangshan Palace later on. You also have to be more careful. In the sky, that's the giant dragon flying. And flew through a magical gate in the middle of the high tower. At the Tiangshan Palace, it's a romantic and magical landscape. The magnificent palaces appear. It's an amazing sight. The name Kim Vu is just a dot of light. He's still cowardly. Flies straight to a man who's meditating. It sounds like a bad thing, CA. You must avenge me. Trying to punish CA for bullying people too much, if not for the magic weapon that the old people left behind, afraid that I and you are separate from yin and yang. The person who is practicing this retreat is Kim. He was serious about putting his hands together. Calm down. Talk outside. We're clear. Say it out. This is still not your decision. But Kim Woo didn't obey. But that. The cylinder now opened its eyes with bright yellow pupils. Talk about the honor of the family. I will reclaim justice for you. He slowly stood up with firm words. Even though SAO is our tribe, it's not easy to bully. Then he turned around and left. But our alchemy is breaking through. To the bottom line, it's not his opponent yet. I have to hide the ring for a while. And then the eyes of Venus turned cold. The smell of crisp, daring voices. Waiting for the day we break through, try to punish him. It's a young person's rock. The peak of my life. The woman next to him laughed with great satisfaction. Waiting for the newspaper to go to jail, right now at the top. Where the wind is snowy white. It's a sacred mountain. Chan CA riding dragon landing. Below are many people kneeling. Greetings to the master. I'm slowly coming down. Ask Han to wake up. The time we're not here. Did anything happen? A boy clasped his hands. Eyes glowed the pink light carefully said. The great prince of the imperial court. I don't know about the time before. What luck have you met? Return from the grave. 2VI has broken through to the top of the Feng Shui scene to become the head of the infused feet. The woman next door also has bright pink eyes. Keep talking out. The foot spread from the 9 Great Lakes. Tell us to tell the owner. She has something to negotiate. If the owner comes back, I will visit. CA school has a little doubt don't my SAO. Surprise on the eaves of the huge palaces. A powerful source of golden magic enveloped. Then it spreads out, slowly flying away from the blue sky. It turns out that's the capacity of the CA campus. I'm moving my hands up high. Close your eyes and think. It costs 8,000 of God's will to raise the VI to the Middle States landscape, for the outside world to say. Just hiding it is enough. Slowly open your eyes to analyze the things in your mind. According to my father's plan, the first step is the birth of Ra, to devour the Tian. It's for us to be the inheritor, the appointed internal of the fairies, this point among the foot disciples, including the power of the nothingness department, which is also below us, not worth worrying about. And then you sit down and your mind goes on and on. But want to calculate the Tian Bao. Even if we become a trader, there are also many elders thinking about how to deal with it, especially the great elders. It's one of the greatest fears of the world. A picture of an old man. White hair shows up, with stern eyes not easy to touch. I secretly feel. Host of Liu Shui, the great elder, is rigid and immutable. I am pregnant with ghosts. He seems to have discovered it too. Who has supported the entire Tiangong religion for 1,000 years. It's definitely not an oil lamp. I quickly opened the system. Review your own information. Character tried to turn CA around the light of fate. Counter dispatch weapons 8 wild magic attack. The identity of the foot disciples transmitted Tian palace. The owner of the school is missing. VI landscape of the Middle States. The divine law of the Tian money, universal. Ghost body endowment angel endowment remembrance. Village money, Ma Gong. The ghost body can transfer the flower into the air. The value of heaven is not the value of fortune. 1,100 cough points. 1/3 of the world's missing seeds. A card on air carrier Ba. Your eyes are sharper than ever. In the heart of questioning, since returning to the world, just feel the magic in your body. In a situation of immediate outflow, is because of swallowing the primal nature of Lin Thien and his standard, then inhibited for too long. So in the hand, summons out the glowing magic weapon, with the intention of examining the level you're getting. Ghost Village. To devour the primacy of the kings, to receive the heavens and the world. Today I want to see. Let's see what level our ghost has reached. The thought has just closed. The air has split into 4 and NFL eyes away. Immediately around the palace, there was a strong magic shield. At the end of the school, CA began to develop magic. Her eyes glowed pink, creating a tremendous amount of pressure. Crimson marks on the middle forehead. The mind emits a mysterious ray of light. Another little form of you, sitting in meditation posture in nothingness. On the head are 2 black horns. His whole body was held in golden chains. Suddenly now on the forehead, the entity also lit up. The amount of magic piled on the chain. And when it opens its eyes full of Ra, the chain instantly crumbled. The smile that flashed up looked so spooky. CA school image in reality is equally intense. The scary ghost heads gradually formed from your power. They're screaming everywhere. The system shows up the Middle States landscape. The amount of magic is getting thicker. It hits the air and shakes the palace. The system shows up again in the post-production landscape. Straight out from the magic palace. Smashing against the membrane. That makes it sound like an incredible sound. System Ray announces peak landscape. Behind the school at that time, there was a man with a strong body. Red skin blood like lava. Ice-cold eyes. Hair like a rosy flame burning. System continuously upgrade the pre-period mental damage. Then came the middle states. This is real hair. That's long. Raised to the top of the sky. That man was wearing heavy armor. Full of courage. Foot god foreplay. The magic power is applied to the armor on the head. Increase the power of sharpening the sharp gas. It exudes the middle states. A giant spear was summoned. In the palm of your hand. A powerful source of magic. Top foot god seen. The spirit is lifted up, smashing straight into the pouring air. Create loops of magic around the body. Finally, the system shows up to announce the sale of the angel scene. Behind the school CA, a soldier in shining armor. As the Holy Spirit created. Just skim through, also feel the fiery power and the terrifying pressure. It's a threat to the devil. Let the strongest be careful. He glanced at his work, smiling contentedly. So this is the last card. Angel scene set for sale. Just this incredible speed of cultivation. It's enough to make me rival life. Then come back. Look at the power of the year. Fingertip. Using sentient beings as feeding material for swallowing. Go in to strengthen yourself. This way, people are fascinated. More than the system's increments. The opposite of life.